Hello everybody and welcome in. This is my channel of Facilitated Light, Well-Being, and Healing. This reading today is going to be for the new moon. This is the starting of a cycle. It actually happens and starts today. We are in the Northern Hemisphere and it is coming into fall. So I figured I would pull some cards for you all just to see what the lesson is. So every cycle that happens one new moon to the next new moon, there is a lesson or a mission or something you're going to be learning, because the moon, it rules your emotions, your subconscious, your inner, your things that move you, like the moon moves the tides. So I pulled some cards that would help us to grasp the emotions. So we've got the Moonology deck to start with the probably two or three things. We're going to see what happens that you're going to be dealing with, coming into understanding with, the mission, we'll say, for the month. And then I've got some sea cards, which the tides are pulled by the moon. We got a couple different decks. So we're going to see what the universe has to say for you all, my beautiful peeps. Welcome back or welcome in. We're glad you're here with us. So the channel is done with timeless messages. This one can still be used as a timeless message. It's just that it is very relevant right now for this cycle. It is September, I want to say like the 21st. Yeah, today is the 21st. Yesterday was the 20th. So you have the new moon starting today, because we had a lunar eclipse. So I'm going to go through some things that will help you to understand. The lunar eclipse came through the 7th. And then that was a full lunar eclipse. That was putting things in a restart. The three planets that are in retrograde, I want to say it's Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto. Don't quote me. I just feel like what I was feeling, because I just heard it when I was doing some research, that the reason I was probably feeling like a Mercury retrograde is that all three planets are in retrograde and they'll be coming out soon. So this summer we've had the cycles of removing things that don't serve us, because there was new things coming in that we needed to be released from the old stuff. And then we went into a cycle of now we understand what we needed to release and we figured it out. And then this past month was, we figured it out what we needed to do. But this month was making a plan of action, putting things into place, calibrating what we need to do, what we need to change, because this energy that's coming in after the partial solar eclipse, that is tomorrow, it is going to be the completion of that cycle. And I really feel, this is my thing, that we are going to have kind of a whoosh of going into a new cycle. The energy is going to stay prevalent for a while. We've talked about this if you've followed the channel and watched the videos. There's going to be a presence of new energy to start a new cycle, but for a longer period of time. Those planets that take 200 or 300 years to cycle, like your Jupiter, your Saturn, Uranus, probably Pluto, if you're going to include those, they take a long cycle to go around the sun. And somehow in the last year or so, they have conjuncted and like been all in each other's business. So it's just one of those things that it was for the change that needed to come in. The old energy of Earth is finished about when COVID was coming in, right around that time. Remember, energy is fluid. So there's no like, okay, it ends here and it starts there. It doesn't work that way. So as we were coming out of that energy, you saw a change in things. You saw a little bit of riots. You saw the illness of COVID come in. They are all accompanied, because back in like 1890s, you had cholera, you had pneumonia, you had a major change when the last one, women's suffrage, was coming in. It was about freedom for people that had been held back. That was the thing of the cycle. Now this one is about releasing all the extra internal things, like what you believe, what you think, where you're ascending. This is about ascension and growth to a higher level of understanding. So the last 150-year cycle was about freeing everybody to be equal in an essence, because it took a while. It took 150 years. Slaves were released, people that were endangered. You had women that were actually getting freedom, things of that nature. It was about freeing up all the control that people had and not getting everybody the rights that they needed, because before there was a lot of ownership of actual humans and things of that nature, and I'm the ruler and you're the peasant and you're gonna listen to me type of energy. Well, then we finished up that cycle. Women, people of different ethnicities got their freedoms to be able to vote and be a part of things, and it transferred. So now the new energy is air energy when they talk about Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius is ruled by Aquarius, which is air, which is freedom and communication. It's expansion. It's like, it's almost like it's winter. So it's like everything that we have had in place needs to be destroyed and reevaluated, set up, and growth for the next era of time. So in the first sector of swords, we have Ace of Swords. The first 12 years, 15 years of this cycle is going to be about awareness, things coming to the light, things being brought out. That's why from like around COVID to about, I would say 2030, 2031, you're going to see things that have been hidden, governments, agencies, whatever, cults, groups, whatever, world things are going to be coming out and exposed. And then, so this cycle we're going into is a 10 to 15 year cycle. And I think the reason it's there is because there is going to be some changes for the betterment. But now, anytime you have to change something, you have to kill the old, okay? And that is what has happened through this last year or two. There is an ending of the old way, the old paradigms, the old way of doing things, and it's really stirred things up. There's a lot of people that want to usher in the new energy, the higher awareness, the compassion, the love, the fairness, the equality across the board, the freedom to do what you want to do and not be judged or held back, or just being able to live the life, the unique. That's what we talk about, people living in their true authentic life. Because when you're living authentic, you are probably on your path too, because you came with a mission when you came here. So when you're born, you have a mission. There's things you're going to do in this life. That's part of your natal chart. The kind of thing they talk about, like destiny stuff. There's things you're going to go through. There's things you're going to learn. There's things you're going to go through. It doesn't matter who you are, what you did, good, bad, ugly. There are certain things you have signed a contract in the ethereal world that you need to do. You come in with knowledge, and you're coming in to learn knowledge. The second part of it is there's different phases of life. There's different cycles. There's growing as a human in general, because when you come here, you forget who you are. You're a spiritual being connected to the whole. But when you come back to this earth or wherever else you can be born, you forget. So you're learning once you get here. And in a smaller cycle there's a lesson each month, which is your moon cycles. They tell the time, they move the cycles, they move the oceans are affected by our satellite that's out there. It pulls our tides, it affects us. It is a signature of things that are happening. All the things around us are very important. So we're going to look at what the cycle is about to bring into our life for September 22nd to the next new moon, which is probably around the same time. And if you are spiritually aligned, or I dare say this, magical of some sort, you as a female will probably menstruate on the full moon or the new moon. Not always, but I cycle on the moons. So It's pretty cool, and I could be pretty much clockwork. I used to be able to do my vacations. Now, if you guys watching, sorry, it is what it is. I could plan my vacations so that it didn't fall when I was having my cycle, because nobody wants to have their cycle when they're going to a beach or having fun. It makes you feel yucky sometimes, because it's a transition and a change in your body to release and cleanse the old things within your body. It's the same exact thing. There's something you need to look at, see, release it, and cleanse your body. So, with no further ado, we're going to see what's coming in for the collective for this cycle of the month that's coming up. Spirit guides, angels, most high, what do we as a group collective, what will be some of the lessons that we'll be learning or dealing with? New moon in Leo, shine. So there's no keeping things to yourself. This is that new cycle, that new thing. You're going to be bright. You're going to be, maybe you're going to be coming out of your shell. That this cycle is about becoming the true, authentic you. Remember we said, it's finding all the things you don't need anymore and like getting rid of it. And we're going to shine brightly. And we just come out of Leo season. So Leo to me, it's very flamboyant. It's very in your face. It's the lion, bright. It's the sun. It's like, look at me, I'm here. It is an energy that's full and passionate and fiery, and that's the energy that's coming in. That's why I said we've been kind of quiet and kind of to myself, and all of us have been kind of like, oh, I don't want to see people. I'm kind of just trying to get through, or just having a quiet moment to like, pow, here I am in your face. So know that this month could be a little fiery. It could be coming out of your shell, becoming or realizing what you want to become, or who you really are, what you want to show and shine out to the world. Are there any other things, spirit guides and angels, that our collective is going to be dealing with in this month's cycle? Any other things for this month's cycle? We'll do one more shuffle, and if not, we'll go to the next things, because we have different cards to pull. So, by the way, if you like this deck, this is the Moonology deck. Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards, Yasmin Boland. She's got some new decks out now, but this one, I had her original one, but I really like this one. The imagery is very beautiful. This is the back of the deck. So, I'm a moon lover anyway. All right. New moon, attune to the divine. Yeah, I think that this is realizing you're part of a whole, your divine part. And look at that. That's basically the new moon. Say new moon in Pisces. Pisces is watery emotions, where you fall in the bracket to receiving the messages, the insight. So you're going to shine. You're going to be listening to what the divine, your angels, the world. I feel like it's like being connected. We may have to be reconnected to the collective this month to help. Because if you're in tune with the divine is going to also use you as a tool in this world to help humanity and help things. We are incorporated in his work. And it's not that he can't do his work. I think that he just wants us to be connected. That the spirit of what you would say, God, source, whatever, it wants us to all be connected because we are. I think we become so much on an individuality thing, or we put God and everybody so high. Now, there's a respect for God, but we're all connected. We're connected to God. We're connected to the souls. We're connected to the earth. We're connected to nature. We are connected to all these things. It's whether we choose to listen or to be a part of it or to want to understand it. And we're elevating to a higher frequency. So the more we go up, and one last one, think it through. So maybe there's some changes coming in. This might be living who you want to be, connecting to the divine source of what you need to do, and then thinking it through based on what you're wanting to do, based on what the Spirit is sending you and giving you, and then thinking on it, because I see 11 when I look at this right now, and it looks like it's very balanced. So I feel like it's looking at all the things that you are coming into, all the things you've decided to do or put into place or be a part of, and making a plan. Maybe there's something you need to do. Detoxify, yeah. I think this is making a plan and continuing what we were saying. So the 3 cards you have are Shine, Attune to the Divine, and Think It Through. And do you know all of them are new moon cards? So this is what is happening. This is the new moon cycle that's coming in for you. They want you to be shining bright, letting the divine energy in, and then thinking things through as to maybe what the next plan of action is going to be. So that could be what this month is. It might be maybe a little more planning, having fun, seeing what's out there. What other things could be presenting themselves this month that we might have to deal with, learn, or grow from? This is the Seed deck. First one's out is lightness. Yeah, there's that shine. That's that brightness. So lightness. May the light lift you to the surface. And that's kind of like also bringing the light to things and being, things being very illuminated, abundant, open, clear, you know. So there's maybe lightening your load. I think may the light lift you to the surface. Maybe allowing God to lift you, like the Spirit of God and the essence of God, to hear, embrace, and allow yourself to be lifted to a higher vibration. Release. Yeah. That's that continuation of release. Release. May you lay down your burdens. Yeah, that's giving it to God. Giving it, that's what they talk about. I think what it is it's just trusting and releasing the things that you can't do anything about. And when we're giving it to God, we're manifesting that we're no longer holding on to it, stressing, knowing that the divine will help us, that he will take on our burdens. He will help manifest the beautiful things if we trust him. If you don't believe it, you're not going to pull it in, because releasing things that no longer serve you is very hard. Very, very hard. And sometimes that's part of the burden, that we don't know how to let go of those things. We don't know how to do it. But with the divine help, the light of God, source, that you actually can accomplish it. It's like forgiveness, the same thing. It's releasing that anger, that pain, that betrayal, because when you release it, you can be filled with the light. You aren't holding that, which is going to fester and turn into darkness, because nobody wants to hold anger. I mean, sometimes we do. I mean, you have every right to be upset if you're upset, but when we release it, we're not ever releasing it because what somebody did was okay. We're releasing it because we no longer want to hold on to it. So there may still be things in your life that you have to continue to release and give it to God, source, the higher energy of divine energy. It's giving it to something that's not you, and then the divine can take it and dissipate it and move it out and say, very good, you realize that you shouldn't hold this, that yes, you have every right to be upset, but that it's not doing you any good. Okay, releasing the people that are dragging you down, releasing the people that are talking you down, releasing the narcissistic, vampire, drenching energy that people can have on you, releasing the job just because you're used to being comfortable and you don't want to change, and finding something that's better for you, releasing the people in your life that could be hindering you, hurting you, damaging you, people that have damaged you but make you feel like you have to stay. It's time to release those things that don't grow you, heal you, lift you up, cheer you on. If people aren't cheering you on and people aren't trying to help you, they're probably not the people that need to be in your life. We need people that are going to be in our corner and cheer for us even when we're struggling and maybe we're not doing great, but just, you can do it. Come on, I have faith in you. We'll get through this. You're going to do much better that way than someone saying, oh, you're just always going to be like this. I don't know why you keep doing it. Why do you even try? You know, it's almost like saying to me, just go jump off the bridge. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to change. And they don't say that, but sometimes that's the energy you feel like. Nobody cares. And that's a hard place to be when nobody can understand or come alongside of you. And sometimes you have to do things on your own because nobody's going to understand what you're dealing with. Curious, may you open and explore. Yep, go to new places, new things. Become curious about what's around you. Open up. That's what I said, there's that shine. I think the shine goes with this looking around, being curious to see what's out there. Sometimes we get so closed in with our telephones and we lose our curiosity. And yes, they say curiosity kills the cat, but you know what? It's so much fun finding all that stuff, or going to different places, or meeting new people, or, okay, so maybe it doesn't always work out perfect, but curiosity is what sparks imagination. It sparks creation. It sparks new experiences, okay? So beauty, may you perceive nature's artistry afresh. Yeah, take a look around. Guys, it's absolutely beautiful, and there's always something beautiful that nature has to show you. Even in your most crappy times, look at a beautiful sunset and tell me that it's not gorgeous. Or the birds sitting out there and just fluttering in the wind, and the trees will change to that vibrant orange and yellow. In our hemisphere right now, we're going into fall. The beauty that's out there, looking at a lake that mirrors the sky so perfectly. Be aware of those things around you. Beautiful architecture that people have made and placed with all the, the landscaping, and just take your environments in. Notice the beautiful flower. Notice the tree that has a cool structure or something. It's just like being aware of what's around you. There's beauty all around if you just look close enough. Ease, may it be effortless. And that you don't have to try so hard. That you just naturally want to go with it. I think we've been struggling. I think we haven't really known where we want our path to go. So I think this month we need to be aware of the surroundings, release those things that we're not needing, that there's a lightness and a curiosity, and looking at beauty and finding like peace. I feel like this is all talking about just being, experiencing, being at peace, letting things unfold the way they're supposed to. All right, so we're going to get some messages from our next deck. This is the Mystic. This is a new one. Mystic's Imaginarium Oracle deck. This was a really cool one. This is based on somebody's teachings. I haven't had this very long to know all this stuff, but we're going to see what the cards are. So what card do we have from this deck for our collective and this moon reading? What will we be dealing with or be aware of, or a little message? Thank you, spirit guides and angels, for your presence and willingness to use me as your vessel. What message do you have for them? Okay, so we got 2. So the first one is imagination is reality. Yeah, what you imagine, you can pull in, and there's those moons right behind there. So during this cycle, maybe that freedom, that brightness, that being aware and taking in what's around you, is that it's opening up your imagination, your creativity, your appreciation for what's around, which is going to spark something within you. Butterflies are about transformation and growth and becoming that caterpillar and going through all that tumultuous stuff to make this beautiful butterfly that will then fly and be lighter and closer to going up. And of course those moon cycles, and it's number 2. So there's that one. That's one message. And then the next message is follow the shepherd. The divine wants to talk to you. These cards keep pointing to higher, divine. Now, very odd that there's a man that's a spiritual word person that was killed, which is making a revival in a lot of our country. I don't know about other countries, but the divine wants to talk to you. Divine loves you. Divine wants to be reconnected and show you how beautiful its energy can be, how loving, how compassionate the divine can be. So follow the shepherd. The shepherd is the person that leads you, takes you where you need to be. He protects you. That's why the Bible that is out there, the shepherd is referred to for Jesus, following his path, that he will protect you. God will protect you. You know, he watches over sheep, and the reason he says that is sheep are stupid, because we're kind of stupid as human race, because we're still carnal. We're not a deity. We have to learn to be the things that we are. So I see Aram Mountains, and this is 42:6 balance. This looks like rugged land, and following the person that will keep you strong, on track. So the divine honestly wants to talk to y'all. So be ready to receive some downloads, have people say stuff. If you're in church and you already joined a part of a spiritual group or church or anything of that nature, anything that believes in a God or a higher source power, he wants to talk. It wants to talk to you. It wants to be connected to you. It wants you to acknowledge it, that it's there. It wants you to pull on it, connect, reconnect, because the world has kind of gotten unconnected from anything but themselves. And that is a very lonely energy, to think that you are the only one out there. And we spoke about this before. You can believe anything you want, and that is perfectly fine. But know that you are connected to everything. You are all ethereally connected. You all come from the same thing. That's why when people talk about saying, oh, you're God, you're everything, I understand where they're coming from. Because technically, what you do, if you do something, it affects everybody. It might not affect you where you can see it, but we are all energetically connected. When we go to sleep, we can all see each other. We can all connect to each other. When we're in the world, if we're doing and hurting other people, in the long run, it's going to hurt you. Something's going to come back to you, because there is the rule of karma. I'm sorry. It doesn't. If you're going to be crappy to people, it's going to come back to you. You might not be a specific time, but the universe creates balance. If you're going to crap on somebody, it's going to come back at you. If you're going to be good to somebody and you're going to love people, or you're going to do something, it's going to come back to you. So know that what you put out is what you're getting back. So think about what you're doing, what you're saying, where you're at. Any messages for the collective for this moon, the new moon cycle that's coming up? Is there anything you want them to know or be aware of? Thank you. I can't make this up. Unconditional divine love. Okay, this month is about connecting with the divine. It's finding your roots. It's finding your way back to the higher power. I'm not saying God in a sense of church or a certain religion or whatever. I'm talking about the true, divine creator of all things. I don't care what you call it. That's what wants to be a part of your life. That's what you're going to ponder. That's what you're going to wonder about. That's what you're going to be thinking about, whether it's real, whether it's not. Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Do I need to do my own thing? That is what I'm getting from this. That the divine is unconditional, pure light love. It is only for your betterment. No matter what you do, where you've been, where you're going, the divine created you with a purpose. Loves you, wants to help you, but he loves you so much, it loves you so much that it gives you free will. And it lets you choose it back. It doesn't. Love is not making somebody love them. Love is a choice. It's something that just happens. I don't know if any of you have been in love. I'm pretty sure everybody has experienced love, whether it's a mate, a parent, a friendship. But love is not something you choose. At least real love. Because when somebody asks you, why do you love that person? You can say, well, there's all this, but I don't know. I just love them. I can't explain it. Because when you're connected by love, that's where you find true love, unconditional love, divine love. It's not connected to what you do for somebody. It's that you are just freaking connected. You just love them. And unfortunately, if you truly love somebody, the other question, this is hard. What does a person have to do for you to stop loving them? I didn't say staying or going. What does a person have to do to make you stop loving them when it's true? And the answer is nothing. You can still love somebody and not be with them. That's a hard one to swallow. Have you ever tried to just get over someone that you fell in love with? Oh yeah, I'm all good, but in your heart it's like aching. Like you know you don't want to be that person. That's why abusive people have a tendency to keep people, because the person that's staying there probably loves them. That's hard. So that's why I say to you, true, unconditional, divine God type of love, like connections where you actually love somebody, you may not be able to stay with that person, but the honest truth is that if you loved them, you will probably always love that person. Even the person that hurt you so bad, you don't know if you can love again, you're still going to love them. And that might be something that we need to realize, or you need to love without conditions. That's what just came to me. This month is learning how to love without conditions, without you need to be this, this, and this, or if a person's not perfect, that you don't want to give your love. So maybe there's a lesson that's going to be learned, or an understanding that love, there's no rules, unfortunately. There is no, you just stop it. If you love somebody, you love them. And I think it's going to be the realization of loving people without needing to have a string, without needing to have conditions. I don't know who that's for, but it was very strong. So I don't mean to say it, and I just say what comes to me. Know that love is love. And that's why God said, I am love. If you don't love something, or you don't have love in your life, you don't have the divine connected to you. You may have God. Everybody has the string. But when you don't have the presence of light, the presence of God, God is about love. And love isn't gushy. That's not what he's talking about. It's about unconditional love. Getting through the hardships. And you notice when you get married, it says through sickness and death, through health and blah, blah, blah. It's a commitment. It's an understanding that you're going to bond with this person and be their other person and stay with them. And I'm not saying that you have to stay if someone's abusing you or hurting you. I'm saying don't just give up. Don't just walk away, and don't just get married for the hell of it, okay? It should be a love, bond, connection that you are committed to. It doesn't have to have love. There's arranged marriages that have worked out. I mean, whatever works for you. But it's a commitment. When you marry somebody, it's I am making a commitment to stay by your side, to support you, to grow you, to love you, to get you through the good times and the bad times. And you hope that the other person does the same. So that's why I said, if somebody is hurting you, abusing you, oh no, girl, guy, you need to leave. If somebody is hurting you or they are abusing you, same thing. You can love them, but no, you'll know. Because I used to say to my mom, how do I know when I'm supposed to go or stay? Because I had a relationship. And she's like, you'll know. I was like, what? She's like, I can't tell you. You're just going to know when it's time. And it's true. You know when it's time to say, no, I can't do this. And sometimes just because you separate doesn't mean it ends. It means that sometimes you have to remove yourself from the situation so the other person sees what's wrong. Because sometimes people don't want to see. So maybe there's some relationship things that are going to be worked on. Connecting yourself to the divine. Connecting yourself to love without strings. Releasing your preconceived ideas about what love is supposed to be or has to be to satisfy you, that it goes both ways. There's a give and take. So this month, I think, is going to be about our relationships with each other, how we love, what we think of love, and being connected to the divine love of source, God, divinity, because that's where we learn love from. We don't know love. We're carnal creatures. That's why he says in the Bible, if you read the Bible, it says you're born of your father. Your father's Satan, supposedly, and you're carnal. It just means you're born of your own self-satisfying energy. We learn to be good. We have to be taught to be good. Little baby cries when he wants you to come. He's manipulating you. It's manipulating you. When a baby wants its toy, it'll hit you in the head or chew on you, bite you, whatever. We learn to take care of ourselves. We have to learn, oh, you don't hit your friend with that, or oh, you don't do that, or you don't say that, or, you know, we are taught, which is why there's different ideologies, there's different cultures, there's different things. And then as we grow up as an adult, that's where we have problems with our families and our churchianities and our religions and our whatevers, our schools, because then we actually become in tune with what we believe. There's the free choice. And then as you come into that, then you can start connecting to the divine yourself. You can start hearing what he wants you to do, or hearing from the universe what you feel you should be doing. And then you start having a problem, because then the people that were controlling you, that were given the job to take care of you, you might not be on the same wavelength as them. So maybe those relationships, maybe that's part of what's coming up, is being in your own authentic person, because God is now talking to you, not to you through your parents. Okay, that you are actually able to connect to the divine yourself. Don't take God's word from somebody else if you're old enough to understand it, because he says very clearly in most Bibles and things, like, until you understand God and you understand sin and you actually understand it, you weren't going to go to the God hell or heaven. That's part of the thing. And I think what it is you're not really acceptable for what you do until you understand really what you're doing, or what, if, like they said, babies or people that are mentally slow or challenged, or people that are, say, invalids, or they're crazy, like you're born literally crazy, they aren't held to the same standard, supposedly, because they don't know. They don't have the mental ability or capacity to be able to understand maybe right and wrong. They haven't gotten there. But when you get to a capacity that you understand, that's where you then have to connect to the divine and the source of what you want, and then you become accountable. So this month, I feel like we are a group of people that have been listening to what everybody else has been telling us that we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to be, and we have not allowed the divine to come to us and talk to us and explain what it wants from us. Because sometimes we follow blindly just because we've always done it, our families have always done it. We have a whole generation of kids that are coming in that have been listening to their parents, or listening to schools, or listening to, because there's not as much church. It's coming back. There's not as many kids that are ruled by, like before it was like the kids were going to church and certain things, they were taught morals and different religions, but they pretty much were about the same, because they're teaching you things, to make you a decent, good human and not hurt people. And I think what is happening in this cycle is that now that we've all come to our own understandings and we are maturing as a society overall, like our society, other societies, as a planet, we are coming to the awareness that we need to be connected to the higher source and do what is on the higher source's checklist. Like, we all came here with a different purpose. So stop putting yourself in other people's purposes, or putting yourself and comparing yourself to other people's things, or doing things because, oh, well, so-and-so does it and they said I'm supposed to do this, and inside you're either saying I don't like to do that, or I don't want to do that, or you're saying, oh no, I wish I could do this, and they're like, oh no, you need to do this, that's not part of your life. If you feel that the divine is talking to you, then you need to listen, because the divine isn't going to put you someplace you're not supposed to be. He's going to put you in a place that's going to teach you, grow you, put you on your mission, take you away from things that aren't good. So as kids, if you're a younger person, yes, you should respect your parents. I don't want you to ever to be jerks to your parents. Your parents love you in most cases. But it's finding your own path, looking at society in your own eyes, looking at the world through your own lens, and connecting to the divine however you feel like it. Okay? That's for everybody across the world. God knows, divine knows exactly how you find him, how you want to learn, how you want to grow, what he has planned for you. No mistakes, remember? When you came here, you made it through and you're still living. You're supposed to be here. Connect to the divine so you can find your happiness however way you want. And if it means that you do a spiritual thing, if it means you have to go to church, if it means you want to be in your Islam, or you want to be in a religion that's, I don't know, something different. But if you're connecting to God, which is the source, and you are trying to become a better human, you're probably going to be okay. God's going to find you where you're at, and he's going to lead you and grow you if you truly want to find him. That's the difference. Do you go to church for faith, or do you go to the church, whatever, the temples? Do you go there because you really want to know? Do you really want to respect the divine that created you and thought you into existence? Or are you just going because, oh, I just have to go. I don't want people to think badly. The divine source wants you to be for him or against him. No offense. That was the other thing that's been coming up. Be hot. Believe what you believe and be there. Don't go what everybody says. You go where your heart burns and the passions that you have and the fire that you have. Don't hurt people. That's all I gotta say. Disclosure. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes. But you need to find what you are on fire for. That will be your purpose. That will be your divine purpose and where you're supposed to be. And that will lead you to the healing, the growth, the expansion, the happiness that you never thought you could have. The authenticity of life comes from listening to what the divine is trying to tell you, help you through, open the doors to. Okay? So let's see what energy is coming through. Sorry, this one's a little longer because this is dealing with an actual subject. Electricity. Yeah. On fire. Look at that energy. She is like, woo! Yes. That's the energy. When you connect to the divine and you allow that spark to get in you, that's when you feel it. Been there, done that. I try to be happy and joyful because I try to let that spark, that divine energy, because when I let other things in, yeah, it puts my flame out sometimes. And they do succeed sometimes, but I try not to let it stay that way. I try to look at things as positive as possible, and that bothers some people, but I just want to be happy. I feel and I have felt the true joy of being connected with the divine. And until you've been there, you can't understand it. And it's truly just trusting and knowing that the divine is there. You have to quiet yourself. You have to listen. You have to be in prayer or meditation. And you have to clear your mind and be ready for it, you know. And then when it tells you things, be ready, because you might not always want to hear what it has to say. Comfort and hearth. Being at home. Being connected. Being loved. Being grounded. We may also need to be connected to our home and comfort. I think this is the part of at ease, and I feel like there is a peacefulness that wants to come in, and being in a peaceful state and not an agitated fight or flight or like overstimulated state, you're going to be able to receive your messages a lot easier from the divine when you're comfortable, when you're peaceful. That's why I don't do anything crazy before. I wait. If there's something I got to do, I do my readings first. That's why at first thing in the morning, I love to do my readings, because it's quiet. My energy hasn't been like ramped up too much. I'm open. I've slept. I've grounded myself. So I think that part of what we need to do is find some time to be comfortable, maybe getting out and looking at nature. That might be part of it. I'm feeling like if you get out in nature and you are taking in the beauty, it's going to open you up and put you in a different energy, a different frequency, where maybe you can receive more messages while you're in this moon cycle. Because I think there's going to be a lot of codes coming. I think a lot of sun codes are coming in with all these flares. So if you're open and you're receptive to it, you're out in the sun, try to get outside a little bit. I feel like that's part of it too, getting out and venturing and going places and allowing the sun to hit you, and the beautiful energy of being out in the air. I think that might be it. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Nope, we're going to take those. So being a comfort and wildness and electricity. Being free. It's freedom. Be authentic. Okay, message that we have. This is our last one. This is our messages for you. This is called the Law of Positivism. This is the one we're doing for our final message. Ooh, there's a couple of them. There's 3. I'm going to take them. All right, so your first message is, I feel safe and grounded. Yep, that's your mantras. You're going to be, and that's what I said, you just had that card of comfort. But I think there's some time for grounding, for being peaceful, allowing, because I think when you're in that, because see how she's got light behind her? I think to receive these messages and these codes and these downloads and things that you're supposed to get, you kind of have to be in a peaceful state and grounded, because if you're not, I feel like there's going to be so much energy around you. My vision is like, I'm seeing a person sitting there and they're so electrified and so overstimulated that the things are bouncing off them. They're not allowing to like seep through and go into your system and be acknowledged, because it's like, you know, you're like going crazy and there's things going on. I think it's just really connecting with some nature, finding that place that makes you calm and peaceful, so the downloads and the things that are coming can be received. Because when they know that you are peaceful, they will bring you the downloads. So you don't have to be peaceful all the time. You don't have to sit around or sit out in nature like for the whole month. That's not, it's setting aside time to be peaceful, whether it's having your cup of tea, go out on the front porch, or you are in your shower and you're just washing, you're cleansing, and you are maybe doing some mantras or some energy work while you're in the shower, because the water will be washing over you. You can imagine yourself releasing all the things, that your body is cleansed, and you're only thinking about, you know, being one with nature, being one with God, being like, and you're mentally in a state where you might receive it. Wash your hair, wash your body, let the water run over you. That could be another thing. You know, it's being in a place where you're peaceful, quiet, undistracted. So I know when my body needs rest. Yeah, there's some people that are still healing. And I think this has been coming up a lot because we are going through a major change. We're going through this ascension and this growth and change. They talk about DNA changes. I mean, it's very possible. Your body is going through a lot of energy and downloads coming from the sun. You have so much plasma and electromagnetic energy coming through. And when those things come through the atmosphere and we get those flares from the sun, scientifically, it's like you were hanging out in the sun all day. It drains you. I don't know if you've ever spent the whole day in the sun. When I come home, I'm like, oh, I need it. You've got to get hydrated. You've got to rest, and you've got to sleep and let your body recoup, because sometimes that radiation, that energy that comes in, it's good for you. But when you're getting it in, it's like it's calibrating, it's redoing it, and it maybe have dehydrated you a little bit. You might have sweat, you might, you know, if you're out in the sun. But when you go to the beach and you come home, is what I'm saying, you feel tired because you've been out. All that energy is being moved around in you. If you're touching the earth or swimming in the ocean, all that energy has been neutralized, and you had those positive ions, those negative ions, and it's all just kind of stirring it up and cleansing you out. And it takes your energy, and it like physical energy. It will drain you a little bit. And the last one, as I rest in the sacred womb, I heal. Yeah, it's a healing time. And that's what's happening for this month. You have a time to appreciate the simple things, connect with the divine, release the things that are hindering you, find peace, find rest. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to sleep. Now, that's a great thing. If you can sleep and you can rest, you'd be surprised. It will really help you, because you only physically heal when you're sleeping. So if you mentally just need some healing, you can just be quiet. You don't actually have to sleep. But if you deal with anxiety and you deal with any things where your brain's going nonstop, you definitely need sleep. Because when your mind goes to sleep, everything shuts down, and it's like rebooting a computer. Everything gets put in the files, and you don't have 47 tabs up while you're trying to focus and try to do the things. So if you are mentally overstressed, you need to sleep. You need to find a way. Earplugs, sleeping aids, music, sound music, frequency. Listen to frequency. You can go right onto YouTube and find some really cool frequency music that will help you, because sleep is essential. Rest, guys. You have to rest. I know it takes time out of your life. You have to rest, because if you do not sleep at night, sleep deprivation is one of the biggest things that cause anxiety, body problems, whatever. Because you when you sleep, everything that's in the conscious part shuts down, and then all those little natural things that are in your body, this is biometrics. This has nothing to do with woo-woo. Your body only heals and repairs itself when you're sleeping. That's why when you're sick, they tell you sleep, get rest, and drink. It's not that you feel tired because you're sick. It's that you need to rest, so that if there is something that's broken, hindered, injured, infection, whatever, when you're sleeping is the only time your body's going to send things out to heal it, because you're not doing the same functions. You're not breaking down the same enzymes. You're not having to do logic. Your heart rate's at a lower beating and breathing, so your brain doesn't need to do as much, because then it switches over to the subconscious And that's when the brain is free to connect to the ethereals, that's when the body, the little mechanism, it's like little mechanisms go and heal your body and do its thing. If you don't allow your body to sleep, you don't heal. You don't reboot, and it builds, it builds, it builds, it builds. And it can be detrimental. And most of people's anxiety comes from the inability to sleep. It's proven. So we're going to rest, we're going to ground, and we're going to connect to that healing spot. It's about healing. The universe wants you to heal. Right now, this month's cycle is about continuing and actually doing the healing. So I hope this message will help you. Like I said, it's a little bit longer because it is framed on it. You can do it. I have strength and power through my God. And I hope that you will draw on the divine power and help yourself through that power, through Mother Nature, through people, through healing yourself. Enjoy this month ahead. We'll be out with more videos. We'll see you soon.